Hey guys, what's up? My name is Nooney, and today I am going to be talking about drugs and alcohol. Now, it doesn't really matter what school you go to, there's always going to be drugs and alcohol. It's just being around the right group of people, well, not the right, I kind of guess, the right group of people to be introduced to drugs and alcohol. Now, for me, I was kind of introduced to alcohol, started out getting drunk, just randomly roaming the streets. At grade 9, I think it was, that I started actually getting drunk. And then it wasn't really until the start-ish of grade 10 that I started smoking weed. So, to start off, I 100% think that weed should be legal and alcohol should be illegal if they're comparing how bad things are. Who do you trust, man or God? But in saying that, I don't smoke weed anymore, okay? I quit 2.5 weeks ago. I know that's not a lot now, but in the grand scheme of things, it's pretty big considering in December of grade 12, I was pretty much high every single day up until 2.5 weeks ago. That's a pretty big time frame to be high for every single day. But I would definitely have to say that being high at school was pretty dumb, I reckon. Some of the times it was dumb, when I had for my final English assessment, I did it completely grilled as fuck. I had probably had 3-4 cones at about 30 minutes before I had to present an English oral in front of my whole class as my final assessment. So that was pretty fucked. And also, working in a workshop, that was pretty fucked as well. You don't want to be around power tools and just saws and screwdrivers when you're high. That's mixing just babies and guns and knives and forks and just bad things together. It just shouldn't happen, and it was a pretty dumb idea, I would have to say. So at school, when I started first smoking weed, you have your friends that you'd smoke weed with, and they become pretty much your best friends. I have them now, a couple of us have decided to quit, and I think that's good, and we can all still hang out, and some smoke and others don't, and it's fine. It starts off as wanting to smoke it, and then more and more becomes more of a social thing. A couple of times I have tried to quit, it just ended badly because I couldn't see any of my friends. That's how, if all your friends are smoking and you're trying to quit, you can't go hang out with them because instantly you're going to want to smoke. So for the past 2 weeks when I quit, I didn't hang out with any of my friends. But see, now I'm starting to do it again because I actually don't feel like I want to smoke it anymore. And I'm actually happy about it. And I actually like the feeling of not wanting to smoke weed. And it's good. I'm not saying that people should smoke weed or shouldn't smoke weed. I mean, I think that everyone is in, everyone should, foaming off. Everyone should have their, okay. I think that every person should have an experience with smoking weed and drinking alcohol like I have done, and decide for themselves whether or not they want to do it. Because if society is just no, smoking weed is bad, drugs are bad, drugs is weed is drugs. Weed grows out of the fucking ground, dude, it's a fucking plant. I don't care, plant, I don't give a fuck. Plant, I'm gonna say plant. Weed is, everyone should have their, okay. I think that every person should have an experience with smoking weed and drinking alcohol like I have done, and decide for themselves whether or not they want to do it. Because if society is just no, smoking weed is bad, drugs are bad, drugs is weed is drugs. Weed grows out of the fucking ground, dude, it's a fucking plant. Alcohol is manufactured in a factory. Why? Cigarettes manufactured in a factory. Everything bad, it comes from a factory. A lot of things bad come from a factory. Okay, cocaine and heroin and just meth and bad drugs like that. No, don't fucking do them. Even acid and shrooms. Shrooms is okay because that's natural as well. Acid and LSD and all that other fucking shit, it's bad for you. I would never touch that. I have never touched that, and I'm, glad to say that I never will / have. And also, yeah. Oh, someone's at the door. This is Shane, and he likes to use drug and alcohol a lot.
Yeah. Personally, I think... Well, what sort of drugs?
Wait.
Oh,
what do you... all drugs in general.
Okay, with drugs like weed, that's definitely better than alcohol. I mean, Think of how you sleep after alcohol and you wake up with a hangover. You sleep after weed, you just fall asleep and sleep half the rest of the day. Definitely weed.
What about?
Oh,
what about harder drugs?
Yeah, nothing wrong with them in moderation. Nothing wrong with, the odd pill, tabs.
I think you should go now.
Yeah, so he was one of my friends that I'm talking about that I am perfectly capable of hanging out with without smoking weed or dropping tabs. Oh, I can't believe he does it. A bunch of my friends do it. Anyway, here's Kai, he's got a comment. To sum up this video, I think that everyone should at least try weed and alcohol at least once. Weed is fine, okay? You have all your other bad drugs that you can get addicted to. Hello people, people get addicted to Panadol, and you can buy that from Woolworths. Imagine that, being able to go buy your drug from Woolworths. No, all these other people have to go to some C bad word to get their drugs and other things. And then of course, only try them if you want to, and peer pressure's bad and all that other stuff. Well guys, thank you for watching my video on drugs and alcohol and what I think of all that stuff in general. Thank you for watching, people on YouTube that subscribe to me and random people on Facebook that I probably don't even talk to.